3, 2, 1. What is up, guys? Hopefully we are streaming okay. I've been battling my camera for the last 5 minutes. So welcome in. My apologies for being a few minutes late. Go ahead and drop a comment below. A couple things. Number one, let me know where you are watching from. Number two, is the video and audio quality decent? Will it get us through tonight? Let me know in the comments below. And aside from that, this is going to be open-ended Q&A night, planned out for, heck, if it's engaging and you guys want to hang out for the next hour and a half, I don't mind being on here until 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. So for those of you East Coasters, a little bit on the late side, but I think a lot of us entrepreneurs do not mind being night owls. So welcome in, guys. I see we got Omar, we got Martin, we got a bunch of our VIP members in here. What's up, guys? I'm really bright. Do I need to dim down my light a little bit? John and Rose from California. It's been a... Oh, what's up, Martin? Just about 10 minutes away from me. All right, so sounds like we're good on audio video. So let's dive in, shall we? Kind of give you guys an update. And then this is just open Q&A for you guys. We've had a crazy productive last couple weeks. I have been officially in... Is it really that bright? It's so weird to me how Google Hangouts looks one way to me on the admin side. And then when I watch the playbacks, it looks super bright. Oh my gosh, I just opened that up on the browser. That is really bright. I am going to dim this light down real quick. All right, let me know if this is going to be any better. It's a powder in my forehead. Man, the brightness in here is so weird. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, it should be a little bit better there. All right, let me pull my window back up. So funny. All right. Back to your regularly scheduled entertainment. This last 2 weeks, I've been hitting retail arbitrage like a madman. I've been out. For me, I didn't send in any Amazon shipments in like 2 months. So for me to be shipping in, I don't even know how many shipments we've done. I'm looking at one right now. We're sending in 14 boxes. I just scheduled a FedEx pickup for tomorrow. So it's definitely really exciting to be back on Amazon grind pretty much on a full-time basis. I want to make just a legit full-time income just from the Amazon sales alone. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. I've been out doing retail arbitrage like crazy. I'm starting to get back into online arbitrage with tactical arbitrage. Just lots of good stuff happening right now because I'm just busting my ass and putting in the work. And it's Q4. Like right now is prime buying time and sending stuff in, because once Black Friday gets here, Amazon's going to take several weeks to check your stuff in. So right now is the best time to be sending stuff in if you haven't already. So let's dive in. Q&A session pretty much for the next hour and 20 minutes. I am all yours. So if you have any questions, drop those in the comments below. We will be sure to answer them the best that we can. Shout out, as always, to our admin support, Gretchen, who is in here late night. She's actually 2 hours ahead of me, so she puts in those late nights to be here with us. So Gretchen, thank you. What's up, Rob? Do I have any luck with garage sales? When we have them, I crush it with garage sales. Love garage sales, but I'm up here in the Northwest, and we're not quite in rainy season yet, but garage sale season is basically done as of like a month ago. There's still garage sales going on. I'm sure I'm missing out on some deals if I took the time to go out there, but they're so sporadic. It doesn't make sense for me to go out for 6 to 8 hours garage sailing and only hit a few sales, because I have to drive a while to get to each one. But when we actually do have garage sale season between I think it gets good in June, about, first, second week of June. And then it goes up through the end of August. And then it starts to taper down. So that's kind of where we're at now. Do I take apart my used electronics and blow them out with air? It depends on the value first. Like if it's going to be a $300 item, of course, I'm going to deep clean that thing the best that I possibly can. I try to deep clean everything the best that I can, but if I'm going to sell a VCR for 40 bucks and make like a $15 or $20 profit, I'm not going to really take that thing apart and go through and mess with it. So the higher ticket items, typically I'll take apart and I will get them deep cleaned on the insides. Plus, with most electronics, they have the little slots, the openings where you can see inside. It's pretty easy to determine just how dusty it is in there. It's completely up to you if you want to go that far on each one. It really just depends on what the sale price is going to be. How much does Amazon charge? It varies per item. It depends on the weight of the item, the dimensions of the item. This is why you need to download the Amazon Sellers app, because when you scan an item, it will show you your exact fee breakdown. I think in general, of course, this is completely different per product, but in general, you can calculate probably about 30% is going to go for Amazon fees and shipping. Again, that's going to completely vary. Some products are going to be like 15, 20%. Some might be higher than 30%. This is why you need to use your Amazon Sellers app. Too many times I talk to people, too many times I've talked to people and they're saying that they sold a bunch of stuff on Amazon and they lost money. And I asked them, did you scan that first and look at what your fees were going to be? And they go, no, I scanned it one time, looked at the sale price, and then bought it. You've got to make sure you know what your fees are going to be ahead of time before you send stuff into Amazon. Same thing with eBay too. You gotta know what your fees are going to be. What is my opinion on the sales tax issue and what is the best way to do it in my opinion? My opinion on the sales tax issue is I've got nothing to say about it until we get definitive black or white answers. The whole sales tax area is such a gray area right now. So there's not a whole lot that I can really cover on that. My personal opinion is you need to talk to your local CPA who understands online retail and go from there. Do I ever do seller fulfilled shipping instead of FBA? I don't typically, unless it's going to be something small like video games. I love to merchant filled video games, especially after sales happen, because here's what happens. Like Target, for example, Target is notorious for discounting pretty heavily some of their games depending on what time of year it is, Black Friday, after Christmas, etc. So what happens is I would go and buy a bunch of video games and then I would send them into FBA. And by the time that it took to ship them into FBA, which might be a week or 2 weeks, depending on the time of year, it might take 1 to 2 weeks to ship it into FBA. And by the time it gets there and checks in and goes active, then the prices start to tank, because that happens with any sale on any product when you're dealing with retail and online arbitrage. So what I started doing last year was I would find the sale, buy the video games, and list them merchant filled that same day. And oftentimes, depending on the rank, but oftentimes they would sell within the first day or two. And then I'm able to sell those, ship them out, and I get my money. Versus having to wait on 1 to 2 weeks for shipping time. So doing lightweight items, I am a big fan of. And I also know people that do bigger items and they crush it. You've just got to know your margins. You got to know which product you're dealing with, etc. Having trouble getting views of my items on eBay. Any suggestions? My eBay combo lock is what it's called. Great photos. Sometimes you just need to go back and take a better photo. Even if it's not going to be all the photos, at least try to make your main photo the best that it possibly can. Stop skimping out on lights. Okay? Lights and a white backdrop should be your first 2 investments you make in eBay world. I think too many people are trying to get away with like some crappy lamp and, you know, an old like iPhone 5 or something like that. I'm not saying that won't work, but if you're looking at improving the quality, you've got to invest in a couple set of lights. The lights that we use, I don't know. I'm just going to show you guys. Those 2 things, right? Let me see if I can point at them. Those 2 things right there, soft boxes and that white backdrop, The soft boxes for the set, I believe the last time I checked, were $65. Okay. And the white backdrop is this like, ours is like this cool vinyl feel to it. And I think it reflects light really well. I think that one's like 30, 35 bucks. You can go to sidehustleprosgear.com and we've got those listed. Those are Amazon affiliate links if you choose to support them. Thank you. But to 65 bucks for a good set of lights, get yourself a white backdrop. I don't care. It doesn't have to be that $35 backdrop. Just get a backdrop, right? We were using poster board from Dollar Tree when we first started, just white poster board, and Trista taped them together. But great photos are definitely going to help you out. Your title, put your main keywords in the title the right way. So if you're selling like a Nike shoe, don't put the word Nike at the end of the title. You want to put that reading left to right. So your biggest, best keyword should be all the way to the front, if you can. And we're not talking about keyword stuffing where you're putting in a bunch of like main keywords just all up front. You want to make it sound smooth. So you make sure you have the make, the model, the style, the color, like all that kind of stuff. Those are keywords. They should be in your title. Also with your description, put your keywords in your description as well. And then on top of that, if you want to go down the road of testing out with some promotions, some people love them, some people hate them. I haven't messed around with them too much. My account's an electronics account, you guys saw in that corner. And I've been blessed. I haven't had to worry about doing promotions or sales or anything like that yet. I've got some slow moving inventory like everyone else, but I don't worry about it too much. So aside from that, those are kind of like the best tips I can give you. I don't think there's really one golden way to get more views on your listings. I think it's just a combo lock, and that's why I call it a combo lock. It's a combination of the right photos paired with the right title, the description, and it takes the right price. Pricing is another thing, by the way. So pricing, be competitive. I personally don't lowball too much. I'm not on the low end. I'm not on the high end. I kind of play in that middle ground. If it's a really slow mover, I'll drop the price down. If it's been up for a couple weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I'll drop the price a bit. And that's kind of what I personally do. But it's a combo lock of everything. It's not just one thing that makes or breaks a sale. It's the right photo, title, pricing, description, and it takes that right buyer at the right time. Okay. I've had plenty of stuff that I get tons of offers on. That's completely drew a blank on my words. I'm on day 2 of keto, by the way, so I'm a little foggy brain. So I'm having a hard time like getting words out of my mouth the last 2 days. So work with me here. But I really do think it's a combo lock of everything. I don't think it's just one thing. Some people will tell you like, it's all in the title. It's all in the title. Other people will be like, no, it's all in the photos. It's all in the photos. Like, I really do think it's just a combination of all of it. And like I said, if spend the 65 bucks, you don't even have to use the ones I just said. You can literally, I know people that will go buy nicer, like, $20, $30, $40 lamps, and they do great with their photos. Got to be creative. If you're on tighter budget, you got to get creative with it. If you can, and you're on a budget, try to use natural light. So put your photo paper or whatever you want to use, put your background near a window. You cannot beat natural lights. I don't care how expensive your lighting setup is. You cannot beat natural light. So try to use your window if you are on a budget, and going from there. Can I talk about my repricing strategies and how they change as we get deeper into Q4? Here's kind of my Q4 strategy is right now I am quick flipping as much as I can. I am holding out on a few products that I think are going to do really well. So I priced them high and I'm going to let them sit there, and I'm planning on them selling in December. If you don't have capital to buy stuff and hold it until December, do not do it. Focus on your quick flips. You might have to take a lower ROI right now, but focus on your quick flips, get that cash flow going, and keep sending in more product versus spending all your money now, maxing out your capital, and then you have to sit back and wait for stuff to sell. Okay. I'd rather you be flipping stuff every single week and buying more every single week. So right now I'm quick flipping a lot of my stuff, like 90% of it, until we get to after Black Friday. That's when we can kind of see what's going to be really good to pick up. then I'm going to price my stuff higher, and I'm okay with sitting until mid-December when that peak week happens. And that's kind of my strategy for now. Which platform, it's like the never-ending debate. Which platform is better to sell on, eBay or Amazon? I don't believe there's one that's better than the other because they are completely, it's apples and oranges. There's two completely different parameters going on here. Amazon is fantastic for new stuff. And then eBay has a huge potential for the used stuff and especially the high margin stuff like electronics. So I really don't think there is one that's better than the other. A lot of it's going to come down to personal preference. I will say pros and cons of both. Amazon, I love more than eBay in the aspect that I'm able to use something like tactical arbitrage or just regular retail arbitrage. And while I may only be making $4 or $5 or $6 profit per item, I'm able to buy multiple quantities. So I might buy 5 or 10 units of a product that makes me $5. And then I do that for 20, 30, 40 different SKUs. And that is a really awesome way to build that business. eBay, I'm able to friggin' go on Craigslist and buy a receiver for $20 that sells for $200. Like the margins on electronics are nuts when it comes to eBay. So I love both. I really can't choose one or the other. I will say Amazon is fantastic for the new stuff. So I lean towards the Amazon side for that reason, but I have an equal spot in my heart for the eBay world. Oh, chat. It always bumps to the bottom and I miss all these. All right. I'm going to try to get to every single one of these for you guys. Do I sell different items on eBay? Example, clothes and toys. Do I have to get followers to get more sales? You do not have to get more followers to get more sales. And do I sell different items on eBay? Yes. My personal eBay account, well, really both of ours. So we have 3 accounts. We have our electronics account on eBay, which is kind of my account. I'm the one that focuses on that. Trista will focus on shoes and clothing for the second eBay account. And then the third account is an Amazon account. We just have one Amazon account, and that's all the new in the box stuff. And on that account, we focus more. We do shoes on there, but we also focus on toys, home and kitchen. I really don't have any stuff I don't focus on that account. If it's new in the box and I can make a profit on it and it sells at a decent rate, then it's going to Amazon in that case. Have you watched other YouTube videos on using 24-inch half bubble wrap? Yes, and I am actually placing an order. I've been using this. I had 4 rolls of 750-foot bubble wrap to use, just standard bubble wrap. What's that one? Is that the 3/16 or something like that? Smaller standard bubble wrap. I had 4 giant rolls, and I know the camera doesn't do it justice, but giant rolls of that. So this is my last one, and once that's gone, actually before it's gone, obviously, I need to order the larger bubble wrap is what I'm going to be doing, especially with the electronic stuff. Got some autographed WWF t-shirts from storage auction in awesome condition. Do the autographs have to be authenticated before selling on eBay? I don't think they have to be. I might be completely wrong. I've never done autograph stuff. I don't think they would have to be authenticated, but if you do get them authenticated, I can imagine the sales price and the value is going to be a lot better. Plus it builds that trust with the buyer too. So if I were in your shoes and it is going to be a collector's item that is going to sell for a decent amount, I would definitely get that authenticated. Do we do international? Can you explain why you choose the way you do so? Yeah, we do international shipping on eBay. Just because you guys, if you're not opted into international shipping on eBay, just do it. It's no extra work. You don't have to fill out crazy custom slips or anything like that. Or Amazon. Wow, cannot think straight tonight. eBay is not going to have you fill anything out. There's one page that will have you fill out where the manufacturer is located, like what country. And if you don't know, you can select I don't know. I don't think it actually says I don't know. It says something fancy, but so it's super easy, guys. Oh, sweet. Just open up my account today. What advice would you give a rookie like myself? Any plugins? I won't lie. All of this is a bit overwhelming. So here's the thing. If you're brand new to the Amazon world, I'm assuming you meant Amazon when you said you opened up your account. Either way, Amazon or eBay, it's same tips. It's totally normal to be completely overwhelmed, especially when you come onto YouTube and Instagram and you see all these different people doing all these different things. It's easy to sit here and think, well, what the heck am I supposed to start with? So here's my best advice. Watch some videos, understand the basics of how it works, especially if you're talking about Amazon. Sending in your first Amazon FBA shipment is overwhelming. There's plenty of us on YouTube that have created step-by-step videos. Myself, I have one from a couple of years ago. It is slightly outdated, but the general flow of how to do it is still the same. Rally Root, shout out to Ryan, put together an amazing video recently for that step-by-step video on how to do your FBA shipment. Go watch the videos, understand the basics, learn Keepa. It's my biggest tip I can give anybody, especially a newbie, because I didn't know what Keepa was. I didn't know it was a thing that existed when I started. Okay, it took me a couple months to realize that there was such thing as Keepa. I didn't know what a USB scanner was. I didn't know what, any of that stuff. So if I can go back in time and learn how Keepa worked earlier, I would have made a lot smarter buying decisions and not lost money on some deals. So I would highly recommend that you learn Keepa. That's KEEPA.com. It's not a program or an app. It's just a general website. So you can use it from your phone. Just go to keepa.com from your phone or your computer. Learn how to use that. There's tons of great videos. My buddy Christopher Grant has put up plenty of videos on Keepa. So learn the basics is tip number one. But then tip number two, this is where people get lost. Okay, this is where people get stuck and don't start. Tip number one is learn the basics of how to do it. Tip two is start doing it. I don't know what it is. And it's like, I get it because I've been a newbie and stuff. I've been overwhelmed and not started things before. But you've got to get over your fear at some point. Like, do not get stuck in research phase because you're never actually going to build anything for yourself if you're always researching. The people that have the most knowledge but don't take action are not doing anything compared to the people that just know the basics, but they're out there doing it. Okay, that's how I learned. I didn't sit here. There were no YouTube videos, right? We had Steve Rakin was the one I was watching in the beginning. And shout out to Steve, by the way. He definitely helped me out with in the beginning phase so I can understand the basics. But that's what I did. I watched a few videos. There weren't really Facebook groups, but a couple of groups I was in, I'd sit there and spend all day just researching what people were talking about on threads. But once I understood the basics of how to start and how to do it, I didn't know anything else. I just knew the basics. I had my foundation. Then I just started. I fell on my ass. I made mistakes. I made bad buys. But through that experience, I was able to get better and smarter and scale my business time and time again. And now it's been 3 years. My wife and I both quit our jobs. This is all we do full time. Everything that goes on in this office, the multiple side hustles that we have, it's because we both took the leap of faith and just started the thing. So if you're stuck in research phase, don't stay there, especially right now in this literally this week. This week is one of the best times you can get into the e-commerce world. I don't care if it's Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, whatever. It's all the same. Get into it and just start, because right now, like, it's the calm before the storm. But the second Black Friday and in those weeks to come happen, that's when the swing happens. It's a wave coming, and a lot of you are going to miss it because you're too busy researching and not busy enough getting your ass up and moving with it. Okay, that's how you're going to learn. You can watch all the videos in the world, and trust me, as a content creator, I can tell you from all of us, we appreciate you guys being here so much, but I can also speak on the behalf of all the content creators. We don't want you watching the videos and consuming the content and not doing anything with it. We don't get up here and talk about this stuff and try to teach you guys a few things, give you some lessons based on our experience, because we want you to just listen for an hour, hour and a half, and then be like, okay, cool, that was motivating, and not do anything with it. None of us want that. We want you to take the information, and we want to see you succeed with it. But you've got to do step 2, which is just start doing it. Step 1, of course, you've got to research. Of course, you've got to learn the foundation. You got to know the basics of how this works. But once you have the basics in your head, you need to get your feet going and moving and doing it, because that's where you're going to learn even more. I know that was a mouthful, so my apologies. Am I going to RA Sears with the latest news? Yes. As much as I can. All right, I want to touch base on this. Hard for me to pay eBay fees when I've been cross-posting and been killing it on Mercari. Like 5-1 on Mercari and less fees. That is such an amazing point. It doesn't matter what platform you choose. Do the one that's going to work for you. Some people crush it with Mercari. Some people kill it with eBay. Some people make their millions with Amazon. There's not one that's going to be the perfect fit, and you won't know until you try them, right? So I love that you brought that up. So if you're crushing it on Mercari and that's where your strength is, and go all in on that, because that's where you're going to build your business. Now, I will say, once you get really, really good at it and you start to scale it and automate some things so it can keep running with less effort, then you add in stuff like eBay and then Amazon, or whatever order you want to do it in. So that way you have multiple streams of income, diversifying. I'm definitely not a fan of putting all my eggs in one basket. That's why we're side hustle pros, right? Because I love to have multiple streams of income. Any one stream is not full-time for us. It's a combination of all the streams of income that make up our full-time income, because I do not trust any of these third-party platforms to have all my eggs in one basket, because we know how quickly, especially Amazon, we know how quickly they can make policies and change things, and brand restrictions and all this kind of stuff can pop up. And like, for example, I was selling a decent amount of HP ink and toner. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Amazon decided, you know what? HP is now brand gated for everybody. Pretty much, some people can sell it, but for the most part, everyone's brand gated from HP and no one can sell it now. So if I put all my eggs in that basket, I would have been screwed. But I've diversified enough that we're okay. Obviously, I just sell it on eBay now. How do you go about taking pictures of your products, lighting, camera, etc.? I use my phone. I just did upgrade to the XS Max. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, XS Max. I haven't actually looked at the name of this phone in a while. So iPhone XS Max, which I will say the camera on this thing is amazing. But before that, I was using my iPhone 8. Just regular iPhone 8 Plus is what I was using before that. And I showed you guys the setup over there. I use my 2 soft boxes on the sides, and I do have, I'll show you right here. I do have the ring light that I put overhead. So I've got all 3 angles hitting at it, and the photos turn out great. So that's what I do. I don't have a fancy DSLR. I don't even know how to use a DSLR as far as photos go. I know how to do stuff for video. I don't know how to do photography. So I just use my phone, 3 lights, and that white backdrop I talked about earlier, and that's it. My photo studio is actually in the darkest corner of the room too. So I've got no natural light coming in. The photos turn out pretty good. We're talking about moving our photo stations to the other side of the office where we know there's more light. So it's kind of something we're thinking about doing actually tomorrow if we do it. What should I start selling on eBay? Is video games a good idea? Literally anything sells on eBay, guys. I did this one day. I was talking to somebody and I was explaining to them, you can literally sell, as long as it's legal, you can sell anything on eBay. And I even searched, we're located in Oregon. And this was the middle of summertime. And I looked outside and I saw pine cones on the ground. I typed in Oregon pine cones. There are people buying Oregon pine cones or like weeping willow branches and stuff like you can literally sell anything. So if it's video games, hell yeah, go for it. Especially the retro stuff. You can literally sell anything. And there's 2 ways to do this. One, you can choose one category, one type of product, go all in, and that's all you source. You learn that ball game so well, and you get to master it. You know all the ins and outs. You know exactly what brands you're looking for, what styles, what colorways do the best. You know exactly what you're looking for in that one product, and that's all you do. You get really good at that one product, or you can go really wide across multiple different categories or niches, and you start to see which ones you enjoy or which ones you're best at. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. You can do it either way. But eBay that's the beautiful part about eBay. You can literally sell anything. If I invest around $500 to $1,000 in Amazon FBA, if I play my cards right, what would be the average profit from investing that much? That's too broad of a question. I cannot answer that. If you invested $1,000, it all depends on what type of ROI you're looking at. And prices can change so drastically from the time you buy something till the time that it goes live on Amazon. So you may have thought you were going to do a 100% ROI, but by the time everything gets sent in and you drop your price, you might be cashing out at a 30% ROI. So I can't tell you what type of margin you're going to have. If you spend $1,000, a safe estimate, if you're lowballing yourself, you should be able to make at least a $200 profit on $1,000. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, especially in the eBay world. It's not. But in the Amazon world, if you're talking about retail and online arbitrage and wholesale and all this kind of stuff, private label, you can definitely work with bigger margins than that. But typically wholesale, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, you're looking at 20, 30, 40, anywhere between 20 and 40% ROI is pretty common. So if you're talking about your margin from what you actually spend, so if you spend 1,000, you might make a $200, $300, $400 profit. That's kind of a safe place to be, but it all depends on the velocity of your sales, how fast you're selling things through. It all depends on what type of ROI that you're shooting for. If you buy stuff that has a 200% return and you have to drop to 100%, you're going to double your money. So that's why I can't give you a definitive answer. It really just depends on the types of product you're doing. Buy it now or auction. I've always done buy it now. I have not run any auctions myself yet. I probably should. I've got some, whether it's slow moving inventory or something that's really high in demand. That's usually where auction is going to help out. Do you need to pay any taxes for selling on eBay? Yes, you do. Talk to your CPA. My chat bumped down again. Sorry. All right. I do apologize if I miss your questions. This chat keeps bumping down. Do you count your gas as a business expense? Yes. It works two ways. And again, talk to your CPA. Anything that comes to like the tax world, I am not a certified CPA, so take it with a grain of salt. Typically, I don't know if this varies state to state based on our state. I'm pretty sure it's on a federal level though. They will be able to do either gas, so the cost of your actual gas, so save your receipts on that, or your mileage. But to my knowledge, you cannot do both. Again, I am not a CPA. I do not know if that's the correct answer. So talk to your CPA on that. But typically mileage is what we do. And you can use the Mile IQ app, which is really good for tracking. Yeah, Rob nailed it here. 53 to 54 cents a mile. And it changes every year. Usually it's in the 50s range, but typically it'll change by a few cents. Yeah, darker the area, better for the lights. That's for sure. Yeah, that little corner, I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but it's been great. Someone sold a mason jar, said it was air from Hurricane Katrina. Oh, that's so bad. If that can be sold, anything can be sold. It's so true. Thoughts on Joe Lister? I love it. I don't use it a lot now, but when I was cross posting Amazon to eBay, that was definitely the app I was using. If you don't know what Joe Lister is, we don't have an affiliate or anything like that, but I do recommend them. So Joe Lister is a program that will take your Amazon listings and automatically create an eBay listing for it. And then when your eBay item sells, it's all synced, so you can ship it from Amazon and have it shipped directly to your customer. Super handy to have. How do you handle customer damage returns that Amazon takes back and won't credit? I move on. You guys, way too many people, and this is just me, okay? I know some people are going to think I'm a jackass for saying this, but here's the thing. too many of you are worrying about crap that really doesn't matter, and it's a waste of energy and time. Dealing with customer returns and should I do this? Should I do this? I think way too many people are stressing way too much about it. So when it comes to customer returns, Amazon breaking my stuff or not giving me my credits back, I'll fight it one time. I'll open up a case. I'll give them a call, or you can't call Amazon now, but I'll open up a case, send them an email, have them check into it. If they say no, I'm not going to waste my time and energy worrying about, 10, 20, 30 bucks. It's not worth my time or my energy. So my advice I can give to you if you stress over that stuff is move on. I've got way bigger shit to worry about than if I'm going to get one credit back. And usually the credits that we stress about are not that much money, right? If it's 10, 20, 30 bucks, I'm not going to stress about it. If I get a $300 something returned and it's damaged or Amazon messes up something, like, yeah, I'm going to fight that because it's a big dollar amount. But all the small stuff, I don't even stress about. I live such a simple, stress for the most part. I have my stresses, but for the most part, I live such a simple and carefree, stress-free lifestyle. A lot of shit just it blows right by me. I do not worry about small stuff. And again, that's just me. Some people think I'm going to be a jerk, and that's okay. Do used name brand clothes still sell this season? I started and doing great so far, but wondering if it'll make money during Christmas. Yes. Especially if you're going to focus on the winter gear. Name brand stuff always sells. Now, you're not going to be selling a lot of tank tops or flip flops or anything like that. So you gotta go kind of where the seasons and the trends are with that. If I'm buying in Walmart or other retail stores, for example, 10 toys and send them to Amazon FBA, and they ask me for an invoice, what do? You send them your receipt. You send them your proof of purchase. I started my eBay account a few months ago, and I'm doing pretty good. My issue now is lack of inventory. Any tips on where to get stuff beside Goodwill type places? For eBay, I mean, you're stuck. Here's the thing when it comes to sourcing, especially eBay, everyone's going to start it the same way. You're going to start by going to thrift stores, Goodwills, your Salvation Armies, all that kind of stuff. You're going to go into retail stores, look at the clearance aisles. That's how everyone starts. Ideally, you want to work into getting into wholesalers or people or sellers that you can buy stuff from repeatedly. Okay. I think it's Rally Roots and Sam from OSS Empire on, well, he's got a YouTube now, but on Instagram. Those two are prime examples. They are fantastic with having repeat buys from the same seller who are wholesaling out to them. But that took time. All of us start the same way. We all start at ground zero. We all start at thrift stores and Goodwills and kind of like the grind of it until you can build connections. And that takes time and patience. Oh my gosh. Rob has 360 auctions going on right now. I'm so excited. When do those end? I kind of want to just like watch the store when those end. That's crazy. Do you go to pawn shops and source? I have sourced one item from one pawn shop in my career. I should probably go in more pawn shops. I'm sure there's money to be made. I've just never personally really messed with them too much. I found one item. It was a GPS unit, and this was on OfferUp. And the pawn shop posts their stuff on OfferUp, and I was able to get $20 off because I found the deal on there. And I put in an $80 offer. It was a $100 item. And I went into the store and they took it. I don't remember what that sold for. I think it was paid 80. I want to say it sold for like 180 or 200 or something like that. Always been steady, but picking much more right now. Make sure your title and picks are great. We're averaging about $200, $300 a day right now. Know your brands and take your time looking over them. Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for answering. My chat is going so fast. That's the one issue with doing live stuff is like the more people you have in here, which is awesome. We love it. We love the engagement, but it's so tough to keep up with this chat here. We're doing okay tonight. It's not too bad. Where do you get all the types of boxes? So the crazy part is that's not even our box pile. That's my box pile. So that all came from online arbitrage. So we use tactical arbitrage and I do purchases through that. And when the online orders get here, I keep all the boxes because they're great. They're all weird shade mismatch stuff. They've been great for the eBay stuff. But in general, Uline, the Boxery, and Bubble Fast are usually like the top 3 retailers online that you can order from. If you know you're selling generally about the same, and this is for eBay, if you're selling generally about the same size products pretty often, it's a good idea. And I mean, they cost a few cents per box if you get them in bulk, but you can order these custom sized boxes that are plain or brown, plain brown ones, and they also have plain white ones too. So you can order boxes for underneath $1 each that will, and especially if you get the big discounts when you order a lot of them, you get those things so cheap. And that's what we'll use if we have repeat stuff. So like I got boxes for calculators. If I sell grocery items and jars, I got boxes for those. Stuff that I know I'm going to sell more than a few of. It's a good idea to stock up a few extras on those. Our big size boxes, you can probably see right here. Trista was painting, so she used that one. Lowe's boxes, U-Haul. It depends where you get your best price. We pay about $1 each for these ones that are local Lowe's. So that's been really good. And Lowe's, Home Depot is the other one I was missing. Home Depot, Lowe's, and U-Haul. I've heard U-Haul is cheaper, so I'm actually going to look on their website. I need to hopefully put an order with those guys. But we use all of our Amazon FBA shipments with that. Those are nice because they come in a large, medium, and a small. Wifey's in the chat. She said, question, can you bring home ice cream? Yes, my dear. Ice cream will be coming home. Are you in a chocolate mood? A peaches and cream? Strawberry cheesecake? It's called being a live husband right now. Let me know what kind of ice cream you need. Okay, here we are. Tips on photographing clothes, especially plus size or big and tall. I don't photo any clothes. I don't think I ever have actually photoed clothes now that I think about it. Trista, my wife, who's in the chat, so if she's listening, she could probably answer for you, give you some tips. But we actually have somebody who's been coming in for over a year, I think, year and a half or something like that. She's been coming in. She does all of our photos for us. That's our photo station right there. So we have a mannequin. So I don't know if that's a great tip, but a mannequin helps. A wide hanger. Trista put up a video on our channel. Rally Roots did an awesome video on that too, but a wide hanger, you can custom make one. So that kind of brings up the shoulders, especially on the men's shirts. That's about all I know though. Sorry. Yeah, FBA returns. Back on that topic, Martin brought up another really good point too. Amazon returns, I don't stress about because chances are I can probably resell them either locally or on eBay, and you're still going to make money with it. For Amazon FBA, how do you send an invoice for items you bought from garage sales? You don't. And that's why I don't recommend doing garage sale items on Amazon. When getting ungated, do we have to order the same product from the distributor that we are wanting to send to Amazon? Not necessarily. It has to be the same brand. So for example, if you're wanting to purchase Star Wars from a distributor, it doesn't have to be the exact ASIN you're looking to sell. Just have a Star Wars toy and it has to be 10 units minimum of the same toy. And then you can, on your invoice, write whatever ASIN is attached to that and send that into Amazon. That's how you get ungated. But it doesn't have to be the exact one you're looking to do in the future. But the invoice, the item that's on the invoice, it helps if you do have an ASIN that you can write on there to show them you're ordering from a distributor with that. How long did it take us to build our business to live full time? That's always such a hard question to answer, to be honest, because we're in a position where everyone on YouTube, especially, like, it's so easy for you guys to watch the videos. And we've been doing these videos in the reselling business for about 3 years. And it's easy for people to think, oh my gosh, look, they quit their jobs and they resell full time. But what you don't see is that we've had such a slow transition even before that. I quit my job back in 2014 and I didn't even start selling at all. I didn't know what reselling was until a year later. So and before that, I was working as a massage therapist, building up my own business there. I was booking my own clients at my own space I was renting. I was doing online health and fitness coaching. That was kind of it. Those were like my two main hustles I was doing. And Trista was working full-time as a medical assistant. There was a slow transition to get to where we are today. So we never had a moment where it was like 2015, we quit our jobs and we went all in with reselling. That's not how it worked. We established a foundation of multiple income streams from the beginning because I never wanted to rely on one income stream again. And I built that foundation for my mentality with it because as a massage therapist, anyone who's ever worked in the trade industry, if you've been a massage therapist, a hairstylist, esthetician, that's kind of like the hospitality area. Same thing goes with like construction workers and that kind of stuff. If you work with patients or clientele or service-based stuff, you have huge swings, almost like you do during like Q4, right? Q4 is the busiest season for our business now. But before that, summertime was completely packed when I was doing massage therapy. Wintertime was completely slow. And it would vary month to month. There'd be some months where I would be booked solid. I would work on 30, 35, sometimes 40 clients a week on the busy weeks. And then the next week I would have like 15. So there were some months where all of our bills were paid. We had extra cash. We went and played. And then other months we couldn't even afford our rent. So we had these huge shifts in our income. And that's why I decided I am no longer going to ever put my eggs in one basket, because if something happens and our income drops, I have nothing else to as a backup, right? So that's when I became a fan of diversifying, building multiple streams of income. That way we don't have to ever rely on just one. So I can't really answer the question of how long did it take for us to build our business, because technically for us to be able to get to where we are today, we've been working our asses off for like 5 or 6 years. But we haven't been full-time resellers. So if you're talking about just reselling alone, there's some people that I can point you to that have done it in 6 months. They have a lot of cash to start with. They might have 20 or 30 grand. They start private label on Amazon and they start killing it, making bank within 6 months. Other people, it took them 2 or 3 years as a full-time reseller. I'm building the full-time reselling gig on the side until they were able to quit their job and then go full-time with it. So for us, we're in a little bit of a different scenario. We're not the typical like, oh yeah, we waited till we were doing 6 figures and then we quit our jobs. Like we had if you look at our growth curve over the last 5 years, it's just been super steady and slow. We have not had one year that was like, we crushed it this year and then we crushed it the next year. Like we were just such a slow, steady growth curve, but it's built a really solid foundation for what we have now. And that method is not for everybody. That's just what we've done. How would you explain to a store worker when they ask what you do when you're repeatedly having carts full of random stuff? Here's what I do. Number one, I don't act as if I'm the one benefiting the most from it. Yes, I'm the one making the profit at the end of the day, but if somebody, and this is how I build my manager connections, I don't treat them as if I'm taking their product and running away with it to make money. Because a lot of newbies, and you guys can own up to it, a lot of newbies act that way. You act like you're stealing their shit and going to make a bunch of money with it. Here's how I approach it. If they come up to me, and it's all different phrasing, some of them are like, hey, what are you doing? Or they'll crack like a small joke on why you have so many toys in one cart or so many grocery items in one cart, whatever. People don't question grocery as much, but they definitely question if you have like 10 units of a toy or something like that. So what I do is I reply back with this. We run an e-commerce business and we help retailers like yourself get rid of excess inventory. That's how we state it. So that doesn't put you in a position of being the one that's making money. It puts you in a position of, hey, I run a business and I'm here to help you out. The more you can, that's adding value to them. The more you can add that value proposition to them, and make them feel like they're benefiting from it too, that's where you win. Any good videos to watch for learning tactical arbitrage? Just type in tactical arbitrage on YouTube and Google. You will see Chris Grant is my number one. Chris Grant is hands down. He's done some of the best videos on tactical arbitrage. We've done a few with, now I'm trying to remember, was it here? Yeah, we've done a video with Chris Grant here on the channel. If you just go to our main channel, look through the videos. Also with Alex, who's the creator, Alex Moss. And we did a couple webinars with him too. There's videos all over the place, but Chris Grant and Alex Moss, Nate McAllister, those are some of the best ones out there. Yeah, you could probably get cheap boxes at Sears now, especially once they start doing some heavy discounts. It's so funny seeing Trista inside of the chat because it shows Side Hustle Pros. Chocolate it is. It's so funny. What is the size Uline box you buy for Funko Pops? I do not remember off the top of my head what size that was. I think it was like a 6. It's something close to 6x6x6. I don't have any actual Funkos around here. I have my Funkos up there, but I can't reach up there. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 6x6x6. Just get a Funko Pop in the box and measure it out, and just measure out a tiny bit over each edge. And they have one of them that I order that's pretty darn close. What's nice is when you do online arbitrage for those and the company you buy them from sends them in the box. That's really nice. What's up, Thrift School? What are some good online arbitrage sourcing strategies? That is a whole hour video in itself. I can talk all day about that. My biggest strategy or tip I can give you is utilize cashback sites and discounted gift cards. That's where you're going to make a little extra ROI. Do we recommend any prep centers for Amazon? We no longer recommend any prep center. Not saying that there aren't some good ones out there. In my experience, the prep centers are not great with communication, and they do not get your stuff out within the recommended time or the suggested time that they give you. If anyone is working with any really good prep centers, though, please let me know because I need some more to refer to. Ross, Burlington, Marshalls is dry. Is that typical for this time of year? I didn't do Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington last year, so I don't know. But yes, any store goes through seasons of definitely not having as much good product in it. Okay, good to know. Make sure when you go to Sears, ask for boxes. Toys R Us practically gave them away towards the end of their sale. It's funny. I went into our Toys R Us that was closing. I think it was 3 or 4 days before their final day. And I looked at their boxes. They had anyone who did the Toys R Us deal, they brought you in the back warehouse area because they were selling off all their pallet racks and their jacks and all this kind of stuff. So you got to see the whole back end, which is kind of cool. And they had these just stacks of boxes, and they were asking $1.50 each for those boxes 4 days before they were going to close. That was just nuts. But this was at a Toys R Us. I've been in there many times. I knew what the managers were like. They were not happy or nice people. Ah, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm a truck driver and actually haul freight for Amazon. It's crazy to see how fast those boxes roll down the line. I can only imagine when you do a drop off and you see those guys pulling those boxes out. I can only imagine what that looks like. I would love to be able, I know they do tours. I would love to go into an Amazon fulfillment center and just see from when the boxes get delivered and dropped off like, in the full truckload. And then just the whole like picking and packing process. I would love to see that. Where can I buy your box cutter? The one with two sides. That's called a Scotty peeler. I don't feel like rolling all the way over there to grab one, but it's the little deal you guys have seen me use, especially in videos. Scotty peeler. I get a 4-pack for, I don't know, I was like 15 or 16 bucks or something like that. They're basically double-edged razor blades. They're so sharp. I will say when you use them to cut boxes like we do, they will wear out. So I usually buy them in 4-packs. And they don't wear out super fast, but we definitely burn through a few of them. You can get those on Amazon. If you want to support an Amazon affiliate link that we have, go to sidehustleprosgear.com. And we have a whole list of Amazon FBA supplies there that we recommend. Oh, that's funny. We got 2 freight drivers that take Amazon product. How long does one stay ungated? Typically, when you get ungated, you're ungated for good. Especially if it depends. Like if you get auto approved, that's just where you hit apply, the apply and pray method. You hit apply, you get auto approved because of your metrics. You could get gated at any time. I've seen it happen. Um, but if you use a distributor and you have that invoice, there's no reason why you should get gated again. Unless the brand tells Amazon, they have to go through a brand registry process and all that kind of stuff. But the brand could tell Amazon, we don't want third-party sellers anymore. They have to go through a process to do that, and then they can basically restrict the product. But for the most part, it should be good. Do I do free returns on eBay? Yes, I do. Unless it's one of my really heavy items. Like I just sold a $600 printer and this thing was like almost I was 30, I think it was 34 or 35 pounds. I've sold a receiver that was like 40 pounds before. So the super heavy, just crazy shipping cost stuff. I do not offer returns. If they did contact me, I haven't had it happen yet. If they did contact me and want a return, I would just give them whatever refund would make them happy and just tell them to keep it. Shout out to the hustlers working on photos right now. That's what I love about Q&As because I watch all the other YouTubers too. I love watching just live videos and Q&As because you can play these while you're just working. You can hear them in the background. Ah, the chat just bumped again. No. Oh, that's funny. Chris said, "Hey there, McMinnville. Spent 3rd grade in Sheridan." That is really funny because I did 5th grade in Sheridan. I was only in Sheridan for 1 year, but did 5th grade there. We got someone in Eugene. We got quite a few Northwest people up in here. Ah, 8 by 6 by 4. That one sounds a lot more accurate than the 6 by 6 by 6. Kevin said, "Chaz, I've worked 14 years at an electronic retail store. I've had a side hustle for a year and a half, mostly Amazon. I'm ecstatic to say that I have my notice 2 weeks ago. Today was my last day." Kevin, congrats. That is awesome. That is one of the only people who have been through it can tell you how amazing of a feeling it is to walk or email that 2-week notice into your boss. It's like, it's friggin' incredible. I was literally almost in tears. Like I wanted to cry when I walked my in because I worked my butt off for so long to make that happen. But even better than doing it for yourself is if you get to do it for a spouse. Like me walking my notice into my old boss was one of the best experiences of my life. But what was even better by that was when we made the decision. I was able to tell Trista after looking at her numbers month by month, and I was able to tell Trista, you can go put in your 2-week notice now. That for me was one of the coolest experiences we've ever had. So that's amazing, Kevin. Congrats. I will say, if now that you're going to be kind of full-time hustle, it's not just side hustle anymore, it's full-time hustle. You're working for yourself. Stay disciplined. Follow some type of schedule or checklist each day, because on this side of the fence, doing this stuff full-time, guys, it's totally different than, I'm talking mentally, it's way different on this side of the fence than it is when you have a job and this is your side hustle. It's so much easier to stay motivated when it's your side hustle, because I think that excitement phase is still so fresh and so alive. Not to say that it's not exciting and refreshing on this side full time. It's just, you've got to really be self-disciplined. When I quit my job, I kid you not, I spent like 6 months just being a lazy slob. I was playing video games like 10 to 12 hours a day. It was so hard to get myself up and motivated during that time. So that's my biggest tip. If anyone, and this is like a whole dedicated hour video I can do just on that topic, is what it's really like being full-time. Cause it's extremely difficult to stay self-motivated and disciplined. So Kevin, especially now, this being your last day, whatever momentum you have going into the next couple weeks, do what you need to do to create a schedule for yourself to keep that going. Because once you lose that momentum and you slip into a funk or depression, because this is all real stuff, no one likes to talk about it, but it's all real. I've been through it. Trista's been through it. You guys probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You can hit these swings of depression and just weird mental funks. So if you can do anything early on to prevent that from happening and keep that momentum going, do it. Because if you lose your momentum, it is so much harder to get it back than it is just to maintain it, right? It's almost like weight loss. I've been through my own weight loss journey. A lot of you know that by now. It was so much easier to maintain a healthy weight than it was to hit a funk, put on a bunch of weight, feel like crap, and then try to lose it again. Way harder to do that. It's just a lot easier to maintain stuff. But again, Kevin, congrats. That's amazing. Sorry guys, trying to dive through here. Make sure I get all these questions. Yeah, we got some Northwest people up in here. I have 3 small kids and I do part-time. I net profit 3 to 4K every month. That's incredible. That's such a sweet spot to be in. It's amazing. Like, so many people, especially when you watch YouTube and like big sellers and kind of stuff like that, it's so hard to wrap your head around doing 20, 30, 40 grand a month. Which, I mean, those are doable numbers. When you get into this game full time, those are doable, but you don't need to do those kind of numbers for it to have an impact on your life. Like, look at your situation right now and ask yourself, how much of an impact would an extra $1,000 a month make? For most people, that is going to make a huge difference. It's going to free up a lot of their stress. It's going to free up a lot of their time. That allows some people to start cutting back to part-time at their job. You don't have to quit your job. If you're happy at your job, then awesome, keep doing it. But some people would be really happy if they only had to work 3 days a week and not 5 days a week. So you guys need to determine what you want for your life and how much money you need to make that happen. So yeah, 1K a month can make a huge difference. But when you get to that like 3, 4, 5K level of profit each month, I mean, that changes lives. You're able to quit your job. You can go travel. You do so much cool shit at that like 3 to 5K level. So that's why I recommend most people, if you get into reselling, that's a really good goal to have, because there's so much you can do with that. Now, once you get the bug, 5K a month is good. You're happy with it, but why not 10K and 20K and 30K? Then you start thinking bigger. That's when you get a little crazy with it. Have I ever tried going to Ollie's for retail merchandise? Yes. I just told Trista today because we don't have an Ollie's anywhere near the West Coast. Okay. At least from what I found, I've Google searched, I've tried to look on their website. I cannot find an Ollie's anywhere on this side of the country. So I'm actually contemplating, because I know the sourcing is so good, I'm contemplating booking a flight over to the East Coast or like Midwest somewhere and sourcing at Ollie's and a couple other stores too, of course. But basically flying in, destroying retail arbitrage, sending all my boxes into Amazon from there, and then flying back home, because I would make my money back on my flight and then profit on whatever was extra. So I'm contemplating doing that. I think that'd be so much fun. Chat bumped down again. Let me scroll back up, guys. Sorry. Yeah, Rob, do it. Rob's gonna start doing live listing videos. Go for it, man. I would definitely tune in. Need to upgrade to a warehouse. If you're at that point, go for it. Some people, here's the thing. Everyone looks at having an office or a warehouse as like this cool fancy thing, and I will tell you it's not necessary. You would be amazed. We built, a lot of people, a lot of the new subscribers come to our channel and they see the office, right? It's easy to look at. We got like the whole upstairs for all of our eBay stuff. We got the whole office around here. So it's easy to look at it and be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I want an office too. We built our Amazon and eBay business out of our garage for the first 2 years. So don't forget that we had to work our way into it. I will say this, having a warehouse is super convenient because you really don't have to worry about space anymore. You don't have to we had to get so crafty with how we maneuvered like our shelves and stuff, our bins. It was so crazy. But I would highly recommend that you ask yourself, do you really want the extra expense of a warehouse? And do you want to have, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. If you get a warehouse, chances are you're going to scale to the point where you need some help. So that may be employees, part-time helpers, seasonal helpers, especially during Q4. Are you ready to manage extra stuff? Because if you're not, you don't need a warehouse. I know plenty of people that do great sales and their business is scaling and they don't want a warehouse. They don't want the extra stuff, the management that comes with it, because it is extra work. They just want to keep working out of their home or their garage. Some people a storage unit, something small. They want to just keep doing that so they can have the benefit of just being at home. And that's totally fine. You need to ask yourself what you want for that. For me, I could never go back to my garage after having a warehouse because I mentally, both Tristan and I, we needed the mental break, right? We needed the mental separation of like home and personal life versus having the office and work. Now, while I don't believe you can ever truly, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, separate personal and work life, it's on your mind 24/7. Having the office really helped us out with separation, and separating those two, because now when we're at home, we're a lot more just present to like personal life. And my Tristan and I, as a husband and wife team, we're no longer like the coworkers at home. We get to be a husband and wife, and we have a 3-year-old, so we get to spend a lot of time with him playing in the living room and crashing trucks and dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff, or just chilling back and watching a movie. So it really helped us with that separation. And that's something that some people want that and need that like we do. Other people don't want it or need it, and they don't have to do it. Oh no, Matt said, I worked for an Amazon warehouse. It was the worst job I ever had. They micromanaged the hell out of you. You stand in one spot all day for 10 hours straight. Dang. I would love to just like get on a call and just pick your brain on how everything works in there. I assumed it was not fun to be like, especially the picking and packing and standing in one spot for 10 hours. I definitely cannot even imagine. All right, let me scroll down, see if we can get some questions for you. Hey, I just started flipping items. I'm 18. Is there one or two big tips you can give for looking at items? Go by data. Um, if you're in the categories of antiques or collectible items, sometimes there's not a lot of data to go by, but you know that market. But in general, if you're talking about Amazon, learn Keepa. Keepa is a graph that shows you the whole history of a product. It shows you the sale price that has happened in the past throughout. It shows you how many sellers are on the listings in the past. Shows you everything that you need to know. Go by data. Same thing with or eBay. Don't just blindly buy stuff on eBay, take it home, and then look it up and see how much it's worth. You got to look that stuff up and know until you really get to know the category. You have to look stuff up and look at the recently sold items so you can see about what customers are willing to pay and about how many are selling per month. So really just go by data. That's like my biggest tip I can give you. Awesome, Martin. Thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. That's awesome. He said, "You helped me a lot. Thanks, dude. Let me buy that ice cream." That is amazing. So, Trista, if you're still watching, you got your ice cream paid for tonight. $4.99, which is almost exactly how much Ben and Jerry's cost. So that's right on the money. That's awesome. Too funny. You have two Ollies here close. Where are you located? I'm slightly not joking about flying in to different cities and just doing retail arbitrage and then flying back home. I'm slightly not kidding about that. So if anyone's got multiple Ollies around them, I would happily fly in and go do that. Yeah, let's do some estate sales. I love estate sales. I can blame Jacob with Portland Pickers got me into estate sales. I'm addicted now. All right, I think I'm caught up with this chat on this side. Scroll back down. I just found a Leapfrog product through TA. I was gated, but just got instant approval. That happens way more often than you think. Yes, it does. If you guys run into any time that you scan something and you're restricted, go to the add a product page and just try to get approved. Hit the request approval button. You would be shocked how many times it will actually approve you if you have a decent sales history. If you are brand spanking new, chances are pretty slim because you don't have a history with it. But if your metrics are good, you can get it auto approved on a lot of stuff. What does the sourcing plan look like for a 5K a month reselling business? It depends if you're talking 5K just in sales or if you're talking 5K net take home profit before taxes, of course. If you're talking about 5K profit, if you're looking, I mean, there's so many ways to do this. It's hard to answer this. I can't give you just one method because there's literally 1,000 different methods to make money in the reselling business. But if you're looking at the general 30% margin, if you're going to do 5K in profit, you're probably looking at 15 to 20K in sales. And then you just have to reverse engineer. Do I want to do this via online arbitrage? If I have an average $5 profit, how many items do I need to flip to make that 5K? You could just reverse engineer the math that way. There's so many ways for that to go, though. So what do you do if Amazon asks for a CPC or invoices? And when you're doing RA and OA, just give them the receipts that you have. Annotate, I think is the term where you write on it. Annotate the receipt and put which ASIN they're referring to and point a little arrow next to which UPC or whatever the item is on your receipt and show them this was an authentic product that you bought. Cooking videos. That would be the most random mix if I threw a few cooking videos in here. Anyone see my steak dinner I posted up on Facebook and Instagram? Man, that was good. I am actually a decent cook when I actually put effort into it. Um, I don't know if that would be any type of demand, but I can toss up a few like recipe videos up on this channel if you guys need. Ah, okay. We are the opposite and have an 1,800 square foot warehouse, but have to buy a house. It's a good sized warehouse though. We've got 1,000 square feet down here on the floor. Upstairs is about 400 to 500 square feet, and then we have our. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's the doorway. We have a retail shop in there. Uh, that's another 400 to 500 square feet in there. That's also on our goal list too, is to start saving up so we can get a house next year. If you do clothing, you need 1,000 listings to get 5K a month. We should all buy you ice cream. Flip the ice cream. Florida. I would definitely be down for Florida. Oh, Rob, I've actually never looked at where you're at. You're just down in Arizona. Which part? I've been to Yuma and Tucson and Phoenix. And that's really a pretty cheap flight to book down there. So I may take you up on that offer. I don't know. I've been on this travel itch lately. I haven't traveled in a few months. Me and Trista both, we just both love traveling. So I feel like I need to fly out somewhere. Pablo said, I have one Ollie's 45 minutes away. Didn't have a clue. Going there on my next day off. Yeah, hit up Ollie's. Got some good stuff. I've never been in there, but everyone I see that hits Ollie's does pretty well. Gretchen said, you eat peanut butter on your eggs. Sorry, Chaz, you can keep the cooking videos. So I'm hosting a fitness group right now. And this was I think it was in the last fitness group that we hosted. I do put peanut butter on my eggs. And I can't be the only one that has tried it and liked it. It's so funny. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that cooking video and I'll tag Gretchen in it. Looking at data on eBay, is that by looking up codes? It sounds stupid, but I'm new. It doesn't sound stupid. Here's the you got to learn this stuff, right? So literally just go onto your eBay app or the website, type in whatever it is that you're looking at. So if it's an electronics are nice because they all have model numbers. Type in the model number. If you've got, if you've got like a plushie, type in what the character is. If it's got a tag, typically it has a year, so you can type all those keywords in and then hit search. And then you want to go to filter and hit sold. That shows you within the last 90 days how many of them have sold and for what price. It'll show a green price button versus a black one on the main page, because the main page, the problem is those are active listings. Really don't care too much about active listings because that's what sellers are asking. I care about what customers are willing to pay. Because a lot of times you might search for something that sellers are pricing at $60, but if you looked at sold listings, they're selling for $40. So you got to look at how much the customer is actually willing to pay for it. Ah, you are in Tucson. Nice. Yeah, what's it? Mount Lemon that's down there. Hiked that a couple times. Yeah, the second floor in the warehouse is so handy. Anyone who's been following our channel for a bit, you know that this is our second warehouse location. The other one, it's the same building, but it's like 5 units that way. It's segmented out into 1,000 square foot slots, and our old one was 1,000 square feet, but it was sectioned off in 3 rooms. So we had 2 walls separating them, so it was like 3 big rooms. And it was great to start with, but we outgrew it, and I didn't like having those walls up. So having the big open space has been nice, but having that loft has been awesome because in the old unit, we had our back room, that third space. We had our back room was all the eBay inventory, and it was just kind of always there. Kind of like it wasn't out of sight, so it wasn't out of mind. It was easy just to look over and be like, ah, crap, there's all of our eBay stuff. But it's literally all stored up there, and it's great. Minus the electronics. I've got my electronics corner, but all the other eBay stuff is up there, and it's been great. Just up, out of the way, don't have to worry about it. What's good to list from Ollie's? You got to get your butt in there and scan for a couple hours, especially because I've never been in one because I don't have one around here. I can't give you a good list of items to go for, but I can tell you just go in there and spend a few hours and scan everything. Ooh, Sweet Home, Alabama, 4 Ollie's, and we make you some Southern food and authentic Mexican food. Sold. All right, guys, we are down to the wire. A few more minutes until 8:30, and then I got to hop off of here because I'm trying my best to get home at decent hours from now on. And plus, I got to get Trista some ice cream now, so got to stop by the store. Oh, we can hike in the canyon. Totally down for that. All right, guys. Any last minute questions? Drop those in the chat below. I'll get those answered for you. I have 3 lifts in my cabin storage, and so great to keep boxing seasonal stuff. We love it. That's awesome. Yeah, I've just sent in a bunch of seasonal stuff to Amazon. I just sent in, and it was sitting up there for, well, not up there since we just moved in here 3 months ago, but we've had it in storage for 10 months. Yeah, about 10 months we've had that stuff in storage. That's the benefit of a warehouse or like a big storage unit, is you can store stuff that maybe you buy on clearance, like Christmas items. I buy up on clearance after Christmas each year, and we have the space to store a bunch of them now, and I send them in the next year. Do we use Jungle Scout? No, we do not. All right, folks, that's my time. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you guys. Cooking and vlog videos for Christmas. We'll see about some recipe videos for you. I'm curious to see how many people would actually watch any type of recipe videos I put out. So funny. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you taking time, especially those of you who watch this live. I know it's super late for East Coast people. It really is the biggest sacrifice you can make, is giving somebody your time. So I appreciate you. If you love these videos, give them a thumbs up. Helps us reach some more people. Last minute shout out to our admin, Gretchen, who's always in here helping out. But aside from that, have a blessed night. We will catch you next week for another live episode. And I do have some fresh videos coming for you, some new tutorials. So stay tuned. See you guys soon.